as if it's all happened before.
And feel on the Matrix.
Huh?
If the world's a simulation, then a deja vu's a glitch in the Matrix.
Or a message from the other side.
What is life but our brain's chemical perception? Your eyes see, your brain chemistry reacts. Here we just remove the middleman and we go straight to the chemistry. Call it a homecoming.
It's Flat Earth Friday, and if the sun is set where you're at, it's Shemini Tourette's as well. How are you doing this evening, brother?
Happy 8th day, bro. It's nice to be here. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, it's this is going to be a surprise show for me, y'all, because Ronnie put the whole thing together. I've been working on a video, and so I'm looking forward to seeing tonight just as much as y'all.
Yeah, well, it's just interesting to collect tabs and to continue to watch what's going on in the Flat Earth community. We've got a new character, what's his name? Shane St. Pierre, who has this whole Aether cosmology Flat Earth dome model. This guy's just another crazy, insane show to add to the list. It's fun to finally get and document the stuff that he's putting out. What do you know about Shane St. Pierre?
He's the guy that is taking that model with
Walter Bislin?
The Walter Bislin model and trying to explain it, trying to make it on a single pole model and act like it works. He'll talk about things like how 1 degree is 69 miles and these things, but he just doesn't take it to any place real because he tries to do it on the single pole model.
Yeah, so here's the problem we have. It seems like most of the people that are following along on the YouTube Flat Earth community have realized finally, it's been 8 years, that Jaron Campanella from Jaronism is a shill, that he's been a globe earther LARPing as a Flat Earth the entire time. So now all of a sudden we've got these other characters showing up like Shane St. Pierre and Jake the Asshole, and these guys are continuing to try to promote the fact that the single pole AE map and model with a dome over it is still somehow a possible reality. And what I'm noticing is that the debate topics are basically anything except for what Jason and I say. I could care less how much I didn't like somebody if Asshole Jake or QNFEE or even Jaronism put out good, truthful content that promoted what I wanted to share, that I was able to get behind. I'm still going to share it. I would rather win the debate for truth than, basically excommunicate a group of people because I'm not a Christian or I don't believe in their ideologies. I never cared if someone was a Satanist. If you wanted to share truth, you were cool with me. Even if you go and practice witchcraft after, you're going to pay for that. But that doesn't mean that I won't promote you when you talk about something that's truthful. So here's where it's at. We're here. It's 2024. The final experiment is going to take place soon, right? So everyone's going to know now that the AE map and model is impossible if they don't already know, right? So we're going to be down to these choices now. Do you believe that it's a sphere or a globe, right? Or do you believe in the fact that it could be a virtual reality with a different way that things need to be looked at and understood? And you know what, Jason, what blows my mind is that for my entire life, mostly, except for the last 10, 11 years now, or I guess it's 10 years, since I realized that the Earth wasn't a sphere floating in infinite outer space, flying around a galaxy through the universe, I was able to believe all that nonsense. Watch the Morgan Freeman specials. I was able to believe that gravity held everything together, the fabric of reality, with balls spinning around other balls, flying around other balls that exploded from nothing and created everything. But now when I try to explain to somebody that you're inside of a virtual reality, right, and that there's a creator of it, and there's different parameters set, like the way that the sky interacts with us. Why is it that I meet such opposition? Is it because I'm a Christian? Or is it because people are so indoctrinated in materiality through the fact that they believe that I'm talking specifically to the flat earth community now, that are holding on to the idea that there has to be a dome to separate out the infinite vacuum of outer space, has to be contained, and ice walls need to hold in the waters. I'm trying to understand, Jason, if you could try to help me. Is it what we're saying? Is it too far for someone to understand that they're in a virtual reality?
Well, we've pigeonholed ourselves pretty deep by standing on 10 fundamental truths. So, number one already separates us from a huge chunk of the world. But there is a large amount of people actually waking up to the fact that Earth is a plane. But then the fact that we reject the circular one pole pressurized pizza dome model, that separates us from just about everybody else in the world. The thing that I think really does separate us the most is the fact that we always give credit to the creator from the Bible. And so the topic of being in a virtual reality is one that a lot of people have fantasized about for a long time. Ever since the movie The Matrix came around, people were fantasizing these things, and they were like, cool. And then you've got characters like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson that come along and say, it's 99% chance the Earth's a virtual reality, and everybody laughs it off because they're such huge shills. And there's another way of looking at all this coming out now. We're not going to get into it tonight, but it's called the discovery, and there's ways that are saying that you can actually see for yourself that you're in a virtual reality. And I guess it's all right to think about being in a virtual reality until you start thinking about who created it and talking about that. Because once you know you're in a virtual reality, just like anything with a flat plane, you understand that you have a creator. There's no more ability to have this atheistic view. The Vatican Church made up heliocentrism and the Big Bang and evolution and all those things so that atheists could exist. There never were any until those ideas came along. Mm-hmm. So now the difference between things being made out of atoms and things being a virtual reality, we've never seen the atom before, yet we see virtual realities being created right now. Companies like Meta are really working hard on it. So I don't know what the continued resistance is. I guess it's just the fact that we promote the creator being the creator from the Bible.
Well, so, I know that it was hard. I know that it was tough for the flat earth community, because I was one of the first people to actually go against them all. Okay. And I know my narrative has been co-opted and many other channels have taken it and run. And I don't care. I don't care who slanders me. I don't care who excommunicates me. The only thing I've ever cared about was the truth. And I always hoped that at the end of the day that people would actually want to find the truth. And the reason why that Jason and I are sometimes a little bit extra dogmatic is because we've done the work. We've put the back checks in. We've verified the information that we bring to you. Are we perfect? No, the word perfect doesn't even exist. We make mistakes all the time. If we didn't, it would just be a ridiculous video game that nobody would enjoy. So we're going to make mistakes. But the thing is, if you actually verify the information and you come back with it being true, just because Jason and I might have exposed something that you said that was a lie, doesn't mean that you can't understand that we need to do that. There has to be people out here that are willing to just stand on the truth and not worry about making flat earth friends, that aren't worried about losing friendships and family over the truth. Listen, the most important thing that we can do in this reality is to shatter it, is to show people that it's an illusion. and that there's a much more important eternal salvation that belongs here. And so the reason why that Jason and I really started to get excommunicated was because we were showing people that there was clouds behind the sun and the moon. And there was evidence that this place was supernatural, right? And this was something that the flat earth community didn't want to have anything to do with. They wanted it to be a pressurized pizza dome, right? And they hated us, and they still do. And, it's a shame. And it's sad that people would rather hang their hats on this guy like Sean St. Pierre, who is just a Sasquatchalian word salad king. That's all this guy does. He tries to come up with the most difficult and fancy worded explanations for things that really need to be simple. Listen, when you're explaining to somebody what happens at the horizon when something goes beyond it, it's called the vanishing point. Okay. It's simple. The most important thing that I want to always promote, that everybody that tunes in here, if you're going around and you're sharing information, please take your time to learn how to explain it in very simple terms. This leads me to my next point. You've been working furiously this week on the next upcoming video that's going to be talking about coordinate systems for dummies, starring QNFEE. The guy who thinks that because he's able to turn the landmasses off over an AE map and plot different spots, thinks that that is the best possible way of reality can be broken down. It's just an absolute joke to me. And the fact that he puts us drinking stoma bags and eating feces, anybody that wants to promote this QNFEE guy, you are going to receive the same eternal treatment that he's going to get. I'm just watching the community. I'm watching who goes where, who says what. Guys like asshole Jake, things that he does and shares. The fact that he stole almost every single thing that we've ever put out here, including the fact that the NFL is rigged. I put that out like 6 to 8 months before he touched the topic. He stole everything, including the debunks of the AE Mappa model. And now he's promoting the AE Mappa model again. These characters are all going to have to hang their hat on the truth. And the only reason that they're going against Jason and I is because we believe in the Bible. That's it. We believe the creator of this reality wrote the scriptures, and within them, we can explain everything, including the fact that this is a virtual reality, right? And it's going to get reset again soon by fire. And we want as many people to come with us to make it to the next level. That's our whole goal here. And so tonight we're going to be getting into a bunch of gravy, a bunch of stuff. Get your ladles out. We're going to show you exactly how NASA's a fraud, Elon Musk and his SpaceX. I mean, Jason, how crazy is it that Elon Musk is doing things that they did things even further 50 years ago? How ridiculously idiotic is our society?
It's completely backwards. I mean, really, really, really completely backwards. And it's sad. Back in the day when we were first sharing things like clouds behind the sun, people would be excited and they would latch onto it and get it. And then all of a sudden they would find out that it was proof that we're in a virtual reality. And then nobody wanted to talk about it anymore. Now all of a sudden they'll just say the sun's local, right? They won't actually talk about the fact that it's right there in those clouds in your circle of sight. And, things like eclipse shadows and stuff like that. All the ways that we can absolutely prove that we're in a virtual reality. People seem to have lost all their excitement. I don't see people racing out to buy cameras. You don't need to have a Nikon P1000. You just get a 50x zoom and you're going to be able to see clouds behind the sun when the sun's setting through a bank of clouds out in the horizon. It's really simple, everybody. Do it, test it, prove it for yourself. There are easy ways to confirm this. I mean, it's not like we're just thinking, oh, it's probably a simulation, right? No. We can prove absolutely definitively that we're in a virtual reality. It's the only explanation for the materiality and the physics that we experience as well. So I'm looking forward to all the stuff you've got for us tonight. Is there anything else you want to go through?
Yeah, just lastly, I want to really bang home the point here. If you can break down the reality and show repeatable, tangible, verifiable evidence that everyone can do that this place is supernatural and that it's a virtual reality, it absolutely destroys everything that's wrong with this reality. Once people shatter the illusion, just like in the movie The Matrix, you wake up and then you become empowered by that. And then what you do is free yourself from fear. And ultimately, that's the goal here. And I just hope as many people as possible can get beyond these censorships, these gross, disgusting agents of this physical materiality real world, where they think that it's okay and not breaking community standards to have guys eating feces and drinking from stoma bags when there's actual sick patients out there who have to put those on their bodies. That just a level of just idiocracy, and the fact that there's channels out here that are inviting these characters on to their channels to slander Jason and I, to have us eating feces, drinking out of stoma bags, to be saying some of the most projecting, disgusting things you could ever imagine. You know, I will do nothing but hope that people will wake up and start to follow the truth and see, hey, wait, there's a reason why Awake Soul's YouTube channel has been censored. Hey, there's a reason why Ron's channel was taken. My channel was taken from YouTube. There's a reason why. And it's not because we're making people drink from stoma bags. It's because we've been out here fighting to bring truth and to take away fear from everybody on the other side of the screen. Now, tonight, that's the end of that stuff. We're going to get into, we've got some great content prepared for you tonight. All brand new music within a few days old that we've got to share. Listen, we don't just bring truth, we bring memes, we bring brand new music. And that's what we're into, okay? So if you're tuning in here, we give between 4 and 8 to 9 songs of music breaks, and they're all brand new. Like, we have a goldsmith on the team that works very hard, goldsmithing and finding new music, and then we curate that. We go through these lists, we search the entire internet, and we do it because music is passion for us, and we want to take the power back. We want to bring truth. We also want to bring new music because we don't want people to be stuck living in fantasy worlds. Listen, the song that you most enjoyed when you believed you live on a sphere, leave it back there. Move into the future with us and help fight for the freedom of truth. And that's what we're here for. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you could leave a like, leave a comment, help us break through the censorship. Let us know what you're interested in. If you would like to know anything else about the virtual reality, we've got a group in Telegram called Reality Check Chat. It's actually the Reality Check, but the Reality Check chat spot is where you can actually interact with us. Now, if you say anything shilly, there is a couple of rules where if you're promoting disinformation, you get banned after you get, 2 strikes, and the third one you're out? So we do have a rule system in play, but come and join us. Listen, thank you. We got Josh. We got Slinky Shiny Full Moon. Never seen you before. Welcome to the channel. Obviously, the moderator with the most, Yahawashai's daughter. Thank you for being here. We got Jerry Albert Lewis Jr. Thank you so much for being here. Zworst has been doing great content. Also has a group where he makes fun of the Flat Earth Pressurized Pizza Dome group. Truth Over Comfort. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're just naming a few. We got Free Thinking. I haven't seen you before. Thank you for being here. He was saying, Jason, you needed to bump up your mic a bit. Bron with the most. We got Lamp in the Wilderness joining us tonight. Adam Wilson, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. And everybody else, especially Seth as well, does a great job out there. I'm really looking forward to hearing Seth get on top of different podcasts and hear his voice. He's very well spoken and knows this information just as well as we do. We'd like to see more out of Seth on Virtual Reality Witnesses. So without further ado, Jason, I say we get into a song break, and when we come back, let's get into this Flat Earth gravy. Flat Earth Friday.
Let's go.
You and I grew up fast in the thick of it, in bad homes with the same old narratives, with loud voices and prescribed medicines. Hot, we skipped stones, yet felt so American. You're so pretty, but don't try a little bit. You grew up more and healed better than I ever did. Still, you left the light on for me, I won't forget. Worried sick, knew I was caught in things I shouldn't have been. When it's all Put your heart on the line when I need it. Somebody pulling me close, bury my head in your bones. Found me and carried me home. You kept me alive.
And we are back.
Yeah, and I've got the screen share up, Jason. So as soon as you tell me that, let me get my mic's a little bit too high.
It's all good. Yeah. There's been an upgrade in the system, and it's working.
I got rushed to finish that comment here. I don't need to continue that. So let's get in here. Let's check out what it actually looks like. Okay, everybody. To go from sea level to 60,000 feet in 2 minutes. And you'll notice this is nothing like what they try to show with the SpaceX Lie rockets. Look at this. Watch how fast he ascends.
That is some real thrust there.
Starting to get some altitude now. 25 seconds in, we're pretty high already. Look at this.
Wow. People should pay attention to that jet stream, because that's what a real one looks like. If you're not seeing that, it's not real.
And it's got wings too, this. Unlike the rockets. They don't have any wings.
Yeah, it's not spinning. It's flying like an airplane, but up.
Still, we're over a minute now. We're starting to get way up there. We're probably 20,000 feet, 30,000 feet, maybe more.
Yeah, we're probably getting up to or even passing the altitude of commercial flights right there.
It's real, uncut, real evidence. You're going to see something interesting about the horizon too. See, all of a sudden we're running out of, what's happening here is we're running out of pressure.
Ooh, look at that. Oh, and that's it.
Nothing to push.
All right,
out
that's high enough that there is no more air. Wow.
And that was only 2 minutes to get here. And then as it rolls over here, as you can see, there's no curvature. It's flat.
All right, so right there is your record long distance view, right?
Yeah. This is as farthest you can possibly see. I know the angle of the resolution compresses everything, but from this altitude, this is your largest circle of sight that you're going to get, right?
That was sharp.
Yeah, I thought this was a great way to start it off. To have a look at the flat Earth from 60,000 feet up from a continuous shot, and you can clearly see that it's flat. Right? If you lived on a sphere, it would be curving away from us in all directions.
Yeah, that's the altitude where they have to have the pressure suits, because they can't pressurize the whole cabin. You know, think about those supposed space capsules that they send to space. They say that they maintain like sea level pressure in them, and then you go up to this altitude where there's no air, they would explode. They would rupture, unless if they had insane struts and supports holding it all together. But then, of course, it wouldn't be up there if it had all those struts and incredible support, because it'd be so heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get on to this. We'll get into a few memes here. Check it out. Just letting people know, we're not big into Halloween. I know it's satanic, but they are selling this Halloween costume. It's just for the glurfers, should say. Contents include 2 NASA t-shirts, bonus shirt for your wife's boyfriend, camouflage pants, genuine vacuum-proof zipper. Don't worry about that. It says here, flask of fluoride, right? And you get a globe. Decorative purposes only. And it said stained NASA suits sold separately.
That is hilarious. I see people dressing up as those NASA fanboys all the time.
Yeah, in real life, I want to go up to each one. You know, we're at the gym. I want to go up and say, "Hey, man, you know, like NASA's a joke that they're never going to space." But we don't. We don't. You let people come to you. You want to have a winning success with sharing the truth, right? This is supposed to be when they ruin their cameras.
Infrared.
They're going around the flat Earth community telling everybody to destroy your camera, make it so that it can't see things. But what this does show here, I don't know what city is this. Chicago?
It does look like it could be that. Yeah.
Is that the what's this one called? The
Sears Tower, but now it's the something different now.
Yeah, I'm just guessing. You know, I have done a bit of research. I know you're the geographic guy, but you can clearly see that this is super flat. And
yeah, it looks like Navy Pier and what used to be the John Hancock and all that.
You flew around here, right?
I did. I actually landed. There was I think it was called Meigs Field, right downtown, and I got to land a plane down there.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome. That was the Jay Tolan effect. Absolutely. Zworst seems to have an excellent seat. Zworst, I think, might have been a flat earther before you and I, Jay. He might have been an OG flat earther back from like maybe 2012. I don't know if he wants to put in the chat. Yeah, so Jay Tolan, who supposedly worked on with NASA on the space shuttle, became a flat earther. He had this horrible accent, and he was going around telling people that in this shot here that you were seeing 1,000 miles. Right?
Oh,
you remember, but he's gone. As soon as you start to share the truth and refute people and they see it publicly, if they have any soul, they usually quit. It's the ones that keep going are the super demons. Yeah, this one says you can see Earth from Saturn. Wow, I guess it's from Cassini, but not any other stars. It's a bit of a problem, right? And speaking of Saturn, we had a crazy boom, boom, boom sound effect because everybody all the Satanists love Saturn. They put some fake picture of. No one has ever seen the top or the bottom of the luminary Saturn, but they have the cube on it. Right. And for so many people study it and worship it, they think Saturn, Satan, eating the children, just nonsense. Right. But an interesting fact, in 2025, the rings of Saturn are going to disappear. And I can't wait. To see the heliocentrists squirm and all the people that believe in physical materiality. Right.
Absolutely. Here's another one to make you think. The stars. So you don't have to go that high in order for there to be no stars. Like that first video that you shared that went to 60,000 feet. Even at 30,000 feet, the stars are almost invisible. And when you're at a regular cruising altitude of like 36,000 feet, there's no stars. There's no stars. People will lie to you and say that, with a special camera, and if you block out all the lights in the cabin, you'll be able to see them. No, there's no stars. And so one of the big jokes is that supposedly one of their big telescopes is in like some big Boeing plane, and they point the telescope out the window.
That's right.
Right? And so you would think that the higher you would go, the better view you would have the stars. You would be away from the glow of the city lights, and you would be out, above the clouds and all that. You would expect to have these brilliant pictures of the stars from higher elevations, but nope. They stop rendering once you get up to a certain altitude. Yep.
We weren't created to get up that high. It's just been, thanks to the Nephilim, we've been allowed to. Give credit where credit's due here. It says how professionals organize their cables and wiring, and I should know. I am a part-time electrician. Jason's been teaching me. He's quite good at electrical work. We like to do things nice and clean too, like this with zip ties and different types of Velcro, right? And keep everything. But this is how they do it in NASA. I mean, look at how disgusting this electrical work is here. If I was the boss and Ron, I'm done, says the apprentice. Come and check if I walked into the room and this is how you had the electrical wires, I would fire you. I would say, you know what? You can fix this on your own time. And if you do fix it and it turns out like this, you can stay employed. But look at this. So Jason, I'm going to put it forth the effort here to say that they do this intentionally to keep you distracted from the fact that they're using a series of harnesses, vomit comets, and CGI to fake this stuff.
Yeah, that's so bad. The fact that most of their components are on the outside. They have to go outside to fix things, right? Mm-hmm. It's absurd. And all these wires and stuff, and all these people just floating around in water and all this type of stuff. Nothing ever happens to any of the equipment. It just all works perfectly because NASA made it, right?
Yeah, nothing ever goes wrong. They never run into space debris or comets or rocks that are flying around. It's always good to go. But this is how it should look, right? And it's been up there. The ISS was only supposed to be a few years, right? It's been, 2.5 decades that it's been up there? And they continue to fear porn that it's going to crash one day into the Earth and blah, blah, blah. Scientists have been getting stuck up there lately. It never changes, okay? They put this up here. They fake this so that nobody's asking questions as to why haven't they gone back to the moon? Why aren't we on Mars and other planets in this supposed solar system? Right? Here's a reflection of light that indicates that the Earth is absolutely flat. Okay, here's what a reflection on a convex surface would look like. Right? You'd only see it reflect at the angle that your eye met, where it was riding up the backside of the curve. If something's flat, the light goes all the way to the observer, just like it does on the Earth here. And anybody can do this. And when you get this, what you can do is you can set a camera up watching it, and then you can walk away. And guess what? The light that's coming to your eyes will follow you. Right? And it's still also projecting into the observer of the camera's eye.
Yeah, it's individual. You, two observers alongside a beach, each person when looking out at the sun sees that coming to them and never to the person next to them. Never to that person, right? Mm-hmm. But they see it coming to them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is exactly the way that we see it. It's a very meme here. Do you have background music going? This says, which Australia is the real one? I mean, who here, so when you hear about the Earth being flat, okay, this was a long time ago for me, but I still remember. The first thing you do is you go Google images of the Earth, and you start to see cartoons. None of this is real. Does anybody think Australia is shaped like this? Which one
I hope not.
Look at this one. Look at this one.
That's the bent-hawk dog over there, yeah.
Is it this one with the red dirt? Which one is it? And the people will argue, of course they've got pictures of Earth. Ron, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist, right? No, they're not crazy at all. Here, flames do not cast shadows. They don't. Go ahead and practice this one on your own time, okay? But it seems the graphics department at SpaceX didn't know that. Look, they actually put a shadow on the flame here. Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Because they
so stupid.
They do put the debunks right out in plain sight, and they say if you're too dumb to see them or get them, you deserve what you get. That is
exactly what they say. Absolutely. Come on, let's get into this now here. Let's talk about Stanley Kubrick. If anybody actually thinks they landed on the moon, okay, Stanley Kubrick is a famous director, right? That makes movies. Space Odyssey, he's made a bunch, okay? Look at this.
Stanley Kubrick.
This is Stanley Kubrick, and this is NASA and the Apollo logo. Here is Stanley Kubrick, and this is Neil Armstrong.
So is this right while they were faking it, while they were filming it? They had to put the outfit on, and then Stanley was posing?
The first man walked on the moon. There's a model.
There's the model of the lunar lander, supposedly the tweaker shelter, right? Here's Stanley Kubrick right here.
Of the lunar lander, there's Stanley Kubrick. Here you got NASA, astronauts, and Stanley Kubrick's at
there he is in the background.
The top of the set. Here they are simulating low gravity with wires around their suits. Here they are building the lunar lander.
Crazy.
And there is Werner von Braun.
Oh, there's the other NASA scientist that was from the Germany Nazi, right? Came through Operation Paperclip.
Entering the lunar lander.
He's getting into the
Again, Stanley Kubrick from the back, and there is the set at the television. The lunar lander again, and the set with the astronaut. Now take a look. This is the footprint of the moon. First footprint. And Stanley Kubrick is right there. Analyzing the work. Here is Neil Armstrong, here is Stanley Kubrick.
So if you really believe that they went to the moon, okay, if you really believe that, how do you defend this? How?
And a Kubrick and Apollo 11 logo there.
How do you defend this? Jason, how do they defend this?
I don't know.
You say, well, they had to have Stanley Kubrick in to help the production team to make it the best possible picture for the
public.
I guess.
Elon Musk said it was capitalism. This was all capitalism that won over communism, right? Because it was the big rush. The fact that anyone doesn't know that Russia and the United States are working together, you are completely living in fantasy land. Let's keep going here. So here is a question for all my SpaceX fans, right? As you can see, the title of this and the thumbnail of this podcast was uh-oh for SpaceX team. It says, so if the sun is fully lighting this side of the Earth, the sphere Earth, it has absolutely no land masses. So the entire Earth, every landmass is on the other side of this globe too, by the way. We're not even going to get deep into that. Whoops, they must have made a mistake here. So let's go back to what this is talking about. If the entire sphere globe Earth, at least half of it is lit up here. I mean, is that a cloud? That might be land. I don't know. The whole Earth is on the other side. One side has all of the continents. It says if the Earth here, and you can see the sunspot, right, on the driver's seat right here, right? There's the sunspot. Everyone can see that. Can you see the sunspot, Jason?
Yeah, there's just one though. They get one sunspot or two.
Little sunspot there. Right, so if you can see that sunspot, right, in the driver's door, why isn't the entire car lit up?
Ooh.
What's happening here? Oh, whoops. Why isn't his visor lit up? Why isn't
the sun must be directly over the car, just right over the car.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it must be up where my pointer is, right here. But then you'd have a different Terminator line here on your ball Earth. Whoops.
And it would be pretty close.
I mean, come on, people. How does nobody else see this stuff but us? Here it says, explored Mars for 10 years. 10 years this thing supposedly drove around Mars. Never needed any maintenance. No. It just drove around, where is it, Canada? They got it in up north. How could someone believe that? What has ever been made? Has anyone ever made a remote control car that could drive around and dig and traverse the land without never having any work being done on it for 10 years?
The Roomba that would do it all on a different planet, right?
Yeah, a Roomba on another planet for 20 years, 15 years ago. Look at this. What is this? PVC piping? Look at this. What do we got here on here? A little bit of tape. Is this the antenna that's signaling back to Earth? Do you know how much power it would take to send a signal that far? Have you ever seen the size of the giant towers that send our internet cable that you can't even get signal in your backyard sometimes from? I mean, it's just so ridiculous. And you got characters like Fight the Fat Earth and McToon walking around acting like if you believe that the Earth isn't a sphere, you're retarded. But they believe all of this. You know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Here we go. Hurricane Milton, filmed from orbit, supposedly, on our public live stream on the 8th of October. Captured 4K cameras on the ISS. So, geez, I mean, when you put it up to the rest of the sphere, the hurricane covered, like, most of North America? Like, it was that big? I don't think it was that big, Jay. It was down here inside this little circle in here, right?
That's where it was, yeah.
Barely the size of the hand pointer on the screen here. It was like this, and it went like this, like this. It was just the size of my hand. Look at the difference here. NASA's saying it's the size of the whole North American continent.
Well, and that video moves and moves and moves and moves, and it never comes across any land.
There's no land.
Again, no land. They never show you any land from their sphere Earth CGI. Let's keep going here. One big lie. As NASA delays its supposed moon landing again to 2026, conspiracy theories are reignited online. One skeptic claiming that space agencies can't figure out how they did it the first time.
They lost it.
They lost the technology, and we're going to get into more evidence and more information as to the big controversy as to how the flag was waving.
Kubrick didn't give them the secrets, right?
Yeah, he didn't tell them how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why they are not able to fake it again is because we actually have good 4K cameras now. People could zoom in with a telescope on the moon, and they're not going to see them landing on it, right? There's so many different logistics. Now, they want Musk to fake it, but what they do is they continually just confuse people and continue to do psyops. We're going to get to the recent SpaceX psyop. But look at this, okay? What is going on here with the horizon way behind the sun? Now, I talked about in the beginning of the podcast here is that our reality is virtual in nature. And the luminaries, the sun, the moon, and all the stars and things like rainbows are being projected or rendered to us in a different way than we physically understand materiality. And the evidence is right here. When I put information on the screen like this, it's to open your eyes. The sun is within our circle of sight and the horizon is behind it. All of these clouds is behind the sun.
Yeah, because so it's either a sunrise or a sunset, but it's actually at the point there where it's going through the clouds. So every morning, if there's clouds out at the horizon, the sun comes up, it's above the ground, it underlights those clouds. If the clouds are out at the horizon, it'll go up through them, and then once it gets on top of them, you'll have a view like this. So we've had people, so many of these footages come in. If you take a zoom camera with you and you're flying near sunrise and sunset, zoom out to the sun and see for yourself. It's not 3,000 miles high, right? Because you're obviously not flying 3,000 miles high and you're above it. And it's obviously not 93 million miles away because the plane is above it. You can actually see in you can see inside the plane that the shadows are being cast up onto the ceiling in the cabin. Right, that's proof that the sun is below you. There's so many different ways to prove that you can be above the sun and moon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that only happens in a virtual reality. And someone could say, well, Ron, get out of here. This is a fake picture. Not like you have video evidence of this. Oh, wait, what's this? Huh? This is sun setting. Again, within the horizon before the vanishing point. Right? Here it's
over and over, confirmed and confirmed.
People can go and witness this for yourselves, right? We're just showing it to you to open your eyes because we're not being paid. We don't have an app for sale. We don't have a donation spot. We're not going to Antarctica. Okay? We already know that the sun circle's there the way that the model demands. We've been saying it for 8 years.
Now, if you're a person on the ground right here, you'll see the sun descending through the clouds.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It would be nice if we could get that footage from the ground looking up and footage from above looking down. Now,
that would be the best.
Another question here is if the sun is a blazing ball of fire, like someone like FE for Dummies will say, how can the sun set into the ground, Ron, if it's blazing fire, right? Why aren't these clouds burning up? Why is it when there's clouds behind the sun, they're not burning up? Why aren't they dispersing or showing any signs of heat? Why is it, ladies and gentlemen, audience, I ask you, why is it the higher in altitude you rise, the closer you get to the sun, why does it get more cold? Why doesn't it get hotter? Why is it only at the Earth's surface where the temperature rises, where you can't walk upon the Earth or it burns the bottom of your feet in certain instances? Can you explain that, Jason?
No, but the major difference here is a guy like FE has got to be an atomist. He has to believe that that's a hot burning ball of gas in order to even make a comment like it would be burning up the ground or it would be burning up the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what they say.
the explanation for how can the sun be setting into those clouds right there is that we're in a virtual reality, right? It's not that it's a ball of gas. That's not what's happening. What happens is when that sunlight hits you, you feel warmth. And it's not just you. Everything feels the warmth of the sun, of its rays. Right?
But that way.
But when it gets to those clouds, it doesn't just dissolve the clouds as it goes through it. It just lights up the area around it, is all it does.
Exactly. Is this the mean or apparent sun, Jay? What we're looking at here. Is this the
There is only the sun. The sun. If you can see it.
Are you going to tell people that the sun rises and stays between the tropics?
If you can see it, it's the sun.
Dummies, you guys think that the sun travels between the tropics. Listen, everyone, you know what you can actually do? You can measure the sun's zenith point, its highest point above your head, right? And guess what? Only between the tropics will that sun be directly above your head in the air. Nowhere beyond the tropics, south or north, will the sun ever be 90 degrees above your head, right? Showing that it does actually, through the logistics of the virtual reality, stay between those two lines. Is that the mean or the apparent sun? We still haven't got that answer yet.
The sun.
NASA is Santa for adults, okay, everybody? It is, okay? It's like Santa Claus for grown-ups that really never grew up, right? And SpaceX is just the Easter Bunny, right? And Elon Musk is just another extension of NASA. He gets all of his money from the government. He is the new NASA. And the people to believe that they actually did this, come on. How ridiculous is this?
That's a real picture, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be real. This was the guy that like came out and did the I'm in space, walk like an Egyptian thing. Come on. I wish, I cannot wait. I cannot wait until we reach the next 1,000 years when all this nonsense is gone. Listen, it's going to be so peaceful. Is this the moon here, supposedly, too? Or is this lens flare?
Mini moon.
It's crazy. And, I can completely understand why the creator didn't why he put us in a cage. If you raise chickens, you'll start to understand that. But there's a reason why. Because humans are crazy. Guys like making other humans drink out of stoma bags because you don't like what they have to say. Because they debunk your nonsense. You make them eat feces. Like, what do you expect the creator to do? Right? And he made our reality beautiful. Here, they finally actually, Jason, check this out. The cameraman that they left on the moon to film that takeoff, they actually got a picture back from him.
Nobody ever talks about that guy.
There he is.
The cameraman.
He's back. There's the cameraman that they left on the moon. He's waved goodbye. That thing took off. It had the little rainbowy twilight sparkles around the tweaker shelter as it took off.
But he did get the shot. He panned really well.
Check this out. I mean, this guy's flying over top of this. It's pretty cool that they were able to stack these up, right? What they did is they made forms and they piled the sand up. And then as they were going up, they were just making these out of sand blocks, out of cement. They're using limestone and they were making a prehistoric type of concrete. It wasn't even that long ago that they did this, right? They didn't do this thousands of years ago. This is maybe 200 years old. Yeah. But check this out. This guy's flying over this with a paramotor. Apparently he's one of these attack pieces from Gaza. But as you can see here, he's coming above here. There's a dog. There's an actual dog on the top of this thing. How did that dog get up there? I mean, I'm going to ask you guys this. Look at that. Look at that dog. He's up there. He's up there. And you're not allowed to get too close to this because you'd actually see what I'm saying. That they just created these rocks, right? They didn't float them down the Nile with some huge fancy. I can't believe there was a dog on there. Do it again, make sure everybody who missed it. He's flying over here. He zooms in. Sure enough, there's a dog on top of the pyramids. It's still cool that they were able to build it. They're pretty cool, right? I mean, I think that's interesting.
Freemason sandcastle.
Sandcastles, that's what they are, right? Check that dog out. Here we go. Some truth from deceivers. Now, why do they have to do these type of things? This was them decompressing after they came back from the moon shot, right? Look at this. And then they did that interview where they were all like lifeless and deadless. And they asked them about how brilliant was the stars. And they said, well, we couldn't see any stars from up there. They do these hand signs, all their patches and all that. JPL Laboratories was very satanic. Aleister Crowley, partner with Jet Lab Propulsions. You got them doing all their Freemason hand signs, and then Buzz said to that kid, "We didn't go there, and that's my question," right? And he says that we didn't go back to the moon, he was trying to say, but he said we didn't go there. Everybody had a field day with that one. You remember, Jason? What's this? We got Stanley Cooper. This is Admiral Byrd.
Is less, far less. Now, one thing, you have a theory about the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is
This might be plasma moon.
Well, it is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is plasma.
Plasma.
Phenomenon.
Plasma moon.
So Aether, like the Aether guys, right? Aether cosmology.
How did they land on a plasma moon, huh?
They didn't. Here we got Buzz, the legend, talking about how he made a breeze on the moon to make the flag blow.
Also a technical challenge, as we found that the flag didn't exactly perform as we put it together, and it didn't stick in the ground exactly the way we thought it would. There was no breeze to wave it, so we had to maybe artificially create a little breeze. So it was a great mixture.
Artificially create a breeze?
And it will be maybe
Buzz is always hammered,
little
right? Because you got to keep these lies up.
breeze. So it was a great mixture with, I think, a sense of pride and
pride.
Exactly the way we thought it would. There was no breeze to wave it, so we had to maybe artificially create a little breeze.
Because, you know, when the moon landing took place, there were skeptics, right? Like Jason and I are in the modern flat earth resurgence aren't the only people that questioned it. There was people that never believed it. Never. Lots. And they came out and they said, hey, if there's no atmosphere, how is the flag blowing on the moon?
Well, he's saying they had to put a fan on to do it, right?
They had to turn the studio fan on. Yeah, that's how they did it. They artificially did it. Now, here we go. This is what we get on Twitter, formerly known as now X, marks the spot for all dismiss and malinformation. We get these kind of things only possible on a flat plane. It shows the sun going like this, right? And I mean, we've been dealing for 8 years with these people, right? There's always new ones, right? So, I mean, I come in and I said to them, and you can see I got blocked. All of a sudden, you're unable to view this post. I'm like, what? Why can't I view the post anymore? You're unable to view this post. It says you're laughing my ass off. This is only possible with time-lapse photography. I spelled that wrong. Have you never watched the sunset before? How dumb can people be to think this proves flat Earth? How does someone think that this proves the Earth is flat? How?
Because they're saying that the sun is coming towards you and going away.
It's shrinking here. I said the brightness of the sun is reduced when shooting time-lapse, causes the blur to reduce, leaving you with the real size of the sun as it sets. None of you ever watched the sunset ever? It's crazy that people think that this is real when they can go out and watch it with their own eyes. You can see the sun never changes its size ever.
Auto exposure will do that to you.
Yeah.
Because it changes its stops based on how bright it is. So once it's less bright, then all of a sudden you can see its true size. When it's super bright, you can't see because the glare extends out around it.
Why? A shrinking sun. Absolutely. There's still people out there. And then someone comes in, this person, how could something so massively large that we can see with the naked eye from 93 miles away get smaller?
It doesn't. It doesn't get smaller.
You are a liar. You are a misinformer. This one says above it, it says, can someone please explain this to me like I'm a child? Okay, this is a huge problem for Eric Dubaz and Dirty David Weiss, okay? And even the sphere Earth. This is not the way that it would work on a sphere Earth, okay? This only works as if the sun is local. It's literally setting behind this mountain here. What is this, Mount Rainier?
Yeah.
Okay, this does not work in a physical reality. This only works as if the sun is just over here. If the sun was 90 million miles away, shining as the Earth spun around, you would not have the shadow like this. Ever. And I'd ask someone to do a scaled replica of it, but you can't because 90 million miles away is beyond anything that you could ever scale in a modeling program. It would just crash. This is only possible in a virtual reality.
Yeah, because the sun is literally setting right behind that mountain, casting a shadow upward onto the bottom of those clouds.
Absolutely. And there's no way around this, right? And you did a great disc track where you actually mapped towards Eric Dubay showing evidence of this. Eric said that they'd never see shadows on the bottom side of the cloud. Yes, you do, Eric. And we've been trying to get Eric on for at least 8 years. He won't either. So here we go, leading to the next interesting dirty David Weiss and his stupid flat earth stuff where he's got the shirt on. You're not stupid. And he puts this on here. You got Alex literally giving him the finger. Alex is doing really good. He's lost a lot of weight, even though he's an absolute CIA, MI, whatever, Unit 8200 shill working for the intelligence agencies. They're holding this book of Edward Hendry. And I've been screaming this out for a long time. Listen, these shills that work for the government agencies are always, this is what we're looking at. 3 shills. Eddie Bravo, who's the White Church of Satan member, openly acts and proclaims Satanism. Good fighter. He was decent in the UFC, which is all fake and scripted now anyways. But here we go. Alex is giving him the middle finger to Dave, right? He wouldn't let Dave plug any of his apps. He would talk over him. Get my tangy tangerine. He would talk over him and everything. So here they are promoting this stupid book. And I got to let them know, hey, good old FBI agent books, huh? So here we got the FBI law enforcement bulletin. And we got warrantless entries to arrest by Edward M. Hendry. So he's an actual agent. You know, why is it that I'm the only one who ever comes and points any of this stuff out? Why am I the most censored? Where's my YouTube channel gone? Right? But here I am, thanks to you, Jason. We can dig deeper if you don't believe me, okay? Here's the LinkedIn for Edward Hendry, Senior Attorney in Drug Enforcement Administration, Office of Chief of Counsel from Stafford, Virginia. Here's his contact info if you want to ask him. So the book that he's selling is full of dis, and malinformation, destroying and shattering any idea that you might have of the earth actually being flat, and they're setting it all up for this final experiment that's about to take place. This has been the long con. We scroll down here, Drug Enforcement Administration, Supervisor Special Agent. What is that, right? Special Agent, 1990 to 2004, 13 years and 10 months. Conducted high-level drug traffic investigations, law instructor in the FBI. I mean, why is there FBI agents being promoted by dirty David Weiss and Eddie Bravo and Alex Jones? The FBI now truth seekers?
The CIA.
Come on. Why, Jason?
The CIA's job won't be complete until every single thing the American people believe is a lie, according to them.
According to them. Right? And that's what they do. They just put out nothing, but he's got this stupid coin thing. Oh, it's the New Year coin for the Asians. Surprised he doesn't have his Matrix Wakey Rob Matrix decode for the keychains that they sold in the beginning of Flat Earth. I'm surprised he's not wearing that one. Check this one out. You got a plane flying around the curve here. Don't worry, it's just flying over the curvature.
That's what they say about the launches of like space vehicles, right?
Well, they don't
just going over the curve.
They just go up in the sky, the rockets, and then they come right back down. We're going to get to that rockets. Don't get me too... I mean, and we could do a longer debunk on this. So let's get into this Shane St. Pierre character. So this guy here is Ale. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Oh, that's not what we want. So he shows this, right? You can't even see it on the screen. Jaron didn't zoom in on it. This is on debatism. Anything with an ism behind it, run from. Can't believe these clowns are still actually using Windows computers, but they are. I mean, how's your virus software running for you, bro? So I'm looking at this. This is him showing the difference of, you know, a ship going beyond the vanishing point, right? And so we're just going to zoom through here and we're going to get Shane's answer. So this is the new Aether cosmologist, the new Bob Nodell. He's taken Bob's position. True Earth Wiki, he's saying, and so he carries on like he lost his channel on YouTube or something for fighting for Flat Earth, which is not true. You could say Flat Earth all day long. They're not going to take your channel down. They'll put that stupid banner below it. The only thing you do is if you talk about the truth, they take your channel. So I just want to say that, right off the bat, Shane, you need to put down all the fast food. You need to stop eating all of the different seed oils. You need to start walking 10,000 steps a day. Listen, I'm losing weight. I've been battling with my weight for my entire life. Okay. You can do it, Shane. This is a person that's on camera. He definitely, what did I walk? 13,000 steps today. You just need to get your steps up, start eating more protein, cut out the breads, cut out the spaghettis, cut out any of the fast foods. But it's not his weight that concerns me the most. But they do have a link. So your poor diet absolutely does affect your cognitive ability. And his ability not to understand how to explain what's taking place here. Again, let's go back here. This ale guy said, why is it that we're seeing less of this ship? Right, Jay? He's saying, I don't understand why bottom-up obstruction takes place. He's saying this proves curvature. So we've been fighting in this flat earth, globe earth debate for 10 years now. And we've been the only ones that have an actual easy explanation for what takes place here. But let's hear what Shane's explanation is.
But in this example, we can specifically see that there is nothing else going on the horizon. But yeah, in other cases, if there is a lot of smog or other stuff, that could also factor into it. But in this case that I'm showing, there is no smog or stuff like that.
Sure. But if we're arguing that it's actually an effect of optics, meaning that if you're looking at the horizon, if your eye level is specifically in the middle. Oh, wait, am I sharing? Let's see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll share.
Okay. Yep. So if your eye line is specifically in the middle, then you'd have the top and the bottom of the object recede or disappear equally. Or in other words...
So he brings up this. So all of a sudden, he's got bottom vanishes, and then he's got something up here that says bottom seen. He's got the horizon now elevated. Right? Like... This couldn't be any more confusing. It says here as an example, a bottle on the street was filmed at 107 feet away at different heights. When the camera is lowered, the bottom is cut off. So that's a much easier way to explain it. But the evidence that they're showing doesn't really help.
Equal angles disappear equally, but unequal angles cannot. So when you're in the middle, exactly in the middle, like over this on the illustration, if you're in the middle of the bottle over here, then you're going to have equal disappearance. If your eye line is closer to the bottom, you're going to have a much shallower angle to the object for the horizon for the bottom half than the top. And the unequal angles then will decrease unequally, meaning the bottom will decrease at a steeper rate than the top, and you would have what is called optics at bottom of obstruction.
What? Optics at bottom up obstruction? It's just nonsense. There's not much that gets me really worked up, but this guy here, he's getting me worked up.
This diagram right here shows exactly the same thing, is that unequal angles cannot disappear equally. And if your eye is not specifically in the middle between the top and the bottom limit, then of course it will disappear equally.
He's just trying to sound smart.
To the edge which your eye line is closer to. In this case, it's almost always the bottom. If your eye line is observing the horizon, then the bottom angles will increase equally. If you want to look at this GeoGebra model, essentially showing you the same thing.
What is this going to prove?
Increase equally. Well, I messed this up before, right? So if they're in the middle,
Jason, help me out here. What, like?
He's talking about reciprocal angles. Yes.
I know.
Then only in the exact middle will the top and the bottom decrease proportionately. When you're looking at the horizon from eye level, it's more like this angle, where this is way disproportionate to the top. The top's a much greater angle. This is much more steeper down here. If this was an effect of optics, you should be able to reverse it, meaning we should be able to replicate top-down obstruction.
So then all of a sudden we get top-down obstruction entered into the debate.
Under different circumstances. And that's exactly what you can do when looking under a tall building. If you have the same disposition from looking under a tall building and approaching it, if there's an observer over here waving a blanket out a window, as you can see them here, if you approach the building, the closer you get, the more information will be lost up top. What we have is the same in reverse compression of these top angles, which will increase disproportionately to the bottom. So if that's true, then you should get the same information.
So, okay, this is an interesting example. I'll give him that. But it's the most ridiculous way to explain the vanishing point. Oh, I shouldn't have said that word. That must have been a bad word. Shane is this genius aether cosmologist who believes that there's a dome over him and that he can magically make everything in reality warp like a black hole to fit his narrative of an AE map and model. But what he's showing is that you can see count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can count the floors here. And the closer you get to the building, you can't count them anymore.
We should be able to replicate it from walking into a building. And I think
doesn't
I did
explain it
this
very
the
well.
other day when I walked right into a building.
See, now you can't count them anymore, right? They all compressed.
Well, and you had a perfect example of this from 60,000 feet that you started with. When you look out to the horizon, you could see that you would only be able to actually see a much shorter distance than to the actual horizon line because of this compression that takes place as you get closer to the horizon.
Information up top here, and you can see that we have the actual compression differing from the top and the bottom. So we've replicated top-down obstruction based on optics looking up just at a building.
So, I mean, does anybody tuning in here think he just explained bottom-up obstruction very well?
No, he's looking at buildings looking up.
I mean, why is this the person that's getting promoted? Why is he all over X, all over YouTube, Jaronism, and everybody's sharing it? Why does he get to be... Listen, he needs to get on a diet. He's going to die. His health is in tremendous issues.
Yeah,
my heart goes out to him.
Being Bob 2.0 doesn't mean that you have to be the same size Bob
Or
was.
larger. Even larger than Bob. My heart goes out to him. I know what it's like to be obese. My heart goes out to him. But let's actually look at the correct way to explain this phenomena. Okay? So here's the video I just did. It's called The Vanishing Point. It's on Jason's video. Okay? Look. I'm not going to show people. This isn't complicated. It's very easy. As you can see here, if I bring the footage back, where is it where they're up close? There's a track, right? We all know that this track is flat. Okay, they build them that way. They're not angled or sloped.
Shills are going to come along and say, but they have drainage. They have drainage. There was 1/4 inch per foot pitch.
QNFEE did a hit piece against me because he said, no, the track is curved. He tried to say, or however he said it. Look, you can see their feet, right?
The bottoms of their feet and their legs.
You can see everything here. Okay, you can see the bottoms of their feet. Cameras put down on the ground. As they walk away, you're starting to see less and less and less of their feet, right? Does everyone see this? Less and less of their feet. That's because everything has what's called the vanishing point. Okay, whether it's a horizon where you're looking out over the ocean, whether it's in a large building when you lie down on the floor and tell someone to walk away from you. Okay, everything has a limit due to resolution that you can see to, and that word is called the vanishing point. And when something goes beyond the vanishing point, if we were to zoom in, it would not bring their feet back into view. So as you can see, the two walkers are continuing to go around the track. They're moving further away, crossing beyond the vanishing point. Right. So what ends up happening is we lose more and more of their feet. As you can see here, I got the stills so that you can really see close. Now we've lost their feet completely. Right. How much more do you think we're going to see? Oh, now we're almost gone up to the knees. Right. And one more almost up to their waist. Okay. So the person that ale guy that's arguing bottom up obstruction are we to believe that these two walkers have gone beyond the curve of the earth? Is the earth curving on this, what is this, 800-meter track? We're looking 400 meters down a track here. Let me go back to this. How big is this track, Jason? We're looking from here to here. Right? So the earth is like, what, a 500 meters around, or 500 miles around? That's it? We're on the tiniest sphere Earth you could ever imagine?
4 feet of curvature right there, right? 4 feet.
How is it even possible? How is it that Shane St. Pierre isn't bringing this video up as defense? Or not even just this one. How about this one? The Mall Angel video. Here's Jason, hired a model, showed up, the hoarding had angel wings on it. Could not believe it. Shout out to YD for saying Mall Angel video. Look at this, okay? As you can see her walking down the hall, and yes, they do build, listen, any ale or Fight the Fat Earth, or what's the other obese guy? Sly Sparkane. They're going to argue, oh, the floor is not flat. Listen, Jason and I build buildings, okay? They build them flat. They use lasers and water levels, and they make sure the joists and struts are all flat. The floor is flat. There might be a quarter of an inch discrepancy, but that's it. There's a tolerance. There's a standard, a code that has to be met, or the building doesn't pass, right? The floor has to be done correctly. So as you see, she walks further and further away. I'll skip through because I don't want to take 5 hours to do this podcast, which we absolutely could. You're losing all of a sudden. You're losing less and less of her feet, and this is done inside in a humid controlled area. This isn't outside. These waves are actually happening because of the way that their optics work. As you can see, less and less of her feet. The bag's starting to get down to the close to the horizon because the camera has a vanishing point, just like our eyes, and you can see her feet are gone now. You can't see them after she sets them down. Where do her feet go? So now we're to believe that we live in such a small. No, that this mall here, Ale, and what's this other guy's name? Oh, I closed it. Ale and Shane. Is the Earth? Are we on a curved sphere mall?
The mall must have feet of curvature in it.
Huge curve, right? Look at her feet are gone. They're gone. Just gone.
And the bag's morphing into the ground.
Jason's now raised the camera up in elevation the same way that we expect when you look out at the Earth. You can do this for yourself and test it. You can have a ship sail over the vanishing point, and then when you rise your drone in altitude, you'll bring the whole ship plus flat water behind the ship back into view. Okay. Why is it that no one is able to use these as evidences for the truth of our reality to show how the vanishing point works? No, they want to use up angular resolution and aether cosmology, domed Earth perspectives. Right? It just makes me sick to my stomach and angry. Just why people can't do this. It's very simple. Very simple to show this evidence, okay? Not only that, you can look at it from other perspectives like we did here. This was a video that I did like 7 years ago, showing exactly how it works, okay? So these two observers are on a flat plane. They can't see each other at this point. Their fields of view have yet to intersect, right? This is the way that optics work. The fact that we've got someone who has a whole dedicated website with aether cosmology and Shane's domed Earth reality, he still doesn't understand day one optics, okay? So the two objects here can't see each other. They can't. But once they start to go closer together, their fields of view intersect and they can actually see each other. As we can see from the top down view, and this is all happening on a flat plane, okay, everybody? This is the way that it works. Once that happens, now what they can do, if these were two ships with masts, you'd be able to see, each of them would be able to see the tops of the mast. The bottoms of the ships would still be hidden, right? It's not until they completely intersect that you can see the entire ship from the sea level up. Okay, here's a great example of the CN Tower. I grew up north of Toronto. This is my home city. So I had my whole life staring at the CN Tower, right? And the further away you moved from the CN Tower, the less of it you would see until you were close to it. Then you could see all the way from the bottom, but you couldn't see the top anymore, right? Due to the top down that Shane guy was going on. So listen, somebody from the number 1 marker can only see the top of the tower. Somebody from the level 2 marker can now see down to level 2. Somebody from 3 can see the 3. Listen, until you get within level 4, you can't see beyond the vanishing point here. Okay, this is simple day 1 flat Earth perspective views of the vanishing point. And if somebody's out here touting to be some hero, leader, debate king, or champion, and they are not explaining the true ways of perspective and the vanishing point, they are disinformation agents. Okay, I don't care if they're paid, if they're possessed. I don't care what their agenda is. Okay, if they're a flat earther and they're not showing you this and they're not explaining how the vanishing point works, they need to be exposed and disregarded. Jason, do you have anything to say about this topic?
No, that's good coverage right there.
Okay, we're moving on up to the fun point. We got Mike, aka Nachiketa, doing an interview with Will Duffy. Sorry, I'll try not to make fun of him. We'll probably have to break this down at some point. The interview, it was insane. How many things that this man here, I don't even know if he's a man, how much he lies. Could be a woman, I don't know. He contradicted everything that he said in his interview with you. Yeah. Very interesting that the master interview agent here, or not agent, but he got Will to just spill the beans on everything, right? So Nachiketa, they're doing their interview, and it comes up the question. Let's hear what Will has to say.
Water.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Agreed.
Do you think you could get any other flat earthers to agree with you? Because if there's enough, I might fund it.
I can try. I can definitely. I mean, I have a flat Earth channel, and then
Hold on, we lost.
You would not be able to
model. They would be like looking past.
So hold on.
With the rock is
Sorry.
here.
Had the
And
wrong
curvature.
That, and if
It
I
always
trusted,
gets. I don't think that this channel's monetized, but when it refreshes, it loses its point. So Will is talking about a new flat Earth experiment that he's willing to fund, Jason.
it's a certain distance away, and then
Get to that. Excuse me for my not having it perfectly set up here.
level. Then
Well, it looked like it jumped on you.
I don't like it when I don't have everything perfectly ready to go.
Perfect's not a real word.
Well, I don't like
this position.
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite is very simple. What is something that you think is impossible that, if done, would falsify flat Earth?
What do I think is possible?
Impossible.
If what do I think is impossible if done would falsify flat Earth? Okay,
Yeah,
so
you got it.
I like how he covered his eyes, because that's what Matt Chiquita does when he brings characters on like QNFE. He definitely is covering his eyes.
Yeah, I understood. I guess as far as I'm concerned, like this forcing the line experiment could be something.
Can you speak onto that, please? You know, we had this came up before. This is what happens when characters like Mike, Nat Chiquita, come onto the scene, and they have they've never done any research. They're new to the scene. They don't know anything. They bring up some of the most ridiculous claims. Jason, why does force the line? Why did we debunk it and expose it and make sure that no one ever brought that word up again? What was the reason why it didn't work?
Catenary.
Can you explain to everybody what catenary is?
Everybody's seen it. Just look at the electric, the telephone poles, and look at the wires between the poles. You see that sag?
Sag. So
you can't get rid of it. It's impossible to get rid of it.
Mike is actually suggesting that if we stretch the line out, that if we were to measure in the middle of the line how the distance was to the Earth from where we started and where the other end is, that if the line was lower in the ground, then it would be a curved Earth. And if it was flat, that the line would be the same distance from the Earth to the line. The line sag. Just like 20 feet of line you cannot stretch flat.
Yeah, I hope he's not going to be a fence builder or a brick wall layer, because as soon as you have like a couple 100-foot long wall or fence and you just tried pulling a string to you're going to have a big old sag in it.
It's crazy that he brought up forcing the line. Just the most idiot, like just so. I don't want to make fun of Mike. I don't want to call him names, but when you say stuff like that, you definitely don't look intelligent.
That could be possible, I suppose. You know, have you
Ridiculous,
heard
Mike.
about the forcing the line?
So stupid.
This is something that you actually spoke about with.
Yeah,
Dell.
of course they would speak about it because it's stupid.
It was Jaren's idea.
And Dell brought it up, right?
Dell interviewed you behind the curve.
Yeah, let's talk about force the line, but I want to know something
That's
that
beyond the imaginary curve. I thought he was like a Dell fanboy promoting the same narrative that the Earth is rising upwards. He doesn't even know his channel's name. Come on, Mike. So let's continue.
think is not possible. So it's impossible. But if it happened, would falsify flat Earth.
Yes, it would falsify flat Earth. So, like, if it happened, it would falsify flat Earth. I haven't thought about this actually. So, I mean, like, I guess finding curvature.
Yes, good
right?
answer.
I mean,
good answer.
that would be
okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
So you think there's no curvature? Great. What could someone show you that would convince you there's curvature?
You mean curvature? Like you mean like a photo or data that should?
What would convince you? You know what? There is curvature. I was wrong.
Well, I guess from like the way I would look at it, like water is level, so vast bodies of water, right? That's been measured to be level, and if it's not level, then I guess there's something of a mistake that I understood about how water works, right? Because water is something that I could take a look at and say, well, over 10 miles, 100 miles, etc., there should be a certain amount of curvature for that. No?
Yeah, so what could they show you that you're like, you know what, you're right, the oceans do have curvature. What would you accept?
What would I accept? Like, other than a photo that we can see too far?
What would you accept?
NASA gave me? How about a rail gun?
Just
How
let
about
us
a rail
have it.
gun?
Let us have it. Let us have it.
Is the opposite of what I'm asking.
Okay, so like what is it possible for you and I to do
that would convince you that?
Show me curvature. Show it to me. Show it to me.
Okay, so but again, how could someone show you there's curvature?
Get it out, Will.
Come
on, this is so frustrating.
I guess I don't know, like way, and then this is the picture that we have measured, willing to take a look at, and if I.
Okay, I got a simple one.
Here it goes.
Tell me if you accept.
Hold on, is everybody paying attention? We waited all this time. Will Duffy, the guy who came up with the false dichotomy, the final dichotomy, is now going to come up with the proof that he can measure curvature. Are you guys ready for this? I hope everybody's ready. Here we go. Check this out, everybody.
Okay.
A lake that has a dock on each side.
A dock on each side.
Okay. And so the globe would say there's curvature. So one dock is here, one dock is here. And so we think if one person stands on one dock and one person stands on the other, they won't be able to see each other using any type of zoom.
Oh, you son of a... I can't even believe the level of retardation. A line of sight, when we've just been explaining to everybody how the actual vanishing point works. So because the person here at level 1 can't see level 2, you're going to tell me the Earth is curved? Hang on, let's go to this one again. So is this the proof? This is Will Duffy's proof right here. Earth is curved, Jason. Turn the channel off. End the live stream. We have to take all of our videos down. Will Duffy has finally done it. He's come up with the final experiment. He's saying that here it is. The fact that we can't see these people's legs here on this 800-meter track. Boom. Earth is a round sphere again.
Like nobody has ever looked while they're on a lake, on a dock across the lake, and seen that if the lake's too far across, you don't see the docks on the other side.
How stupid, how retarded, how brain dead, how stupid, how fluoridated, how low intelligence can somebody be? This is supposed to be the smartest guy that's going to prove that we live on a sphere, and he's coming up with an experiment where two people. So listen, everybody. Listen, a 6-foot height observer can only see 3 miles, 2.9 miles to the vanishing point. And at that point, you cannot see anything beyond the vanishing point. We've just gone over that exhaustively. That's even a real word, right? Like, I mean, do we have to show it again and 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 again? I'll just keep showing it. So Will Duffy's proof here that this mall is curved like the Earth, because her feet are gone. So he wants to do a line of sight experiment. So he asked what was the way that we could actually prove the shape of the realm. Well, Jason and I actually have a definitive experiment that this was 6 years ago, right? The whole entire flat earth community excommunicated us. They thought we were shills. This was one of the reasons why we had to go so hard. Here, listen to Jason explain this. Will Duffy, if you're a real man, I'm gonna have to email him. I don't know if we've got enough time left. I might have to do an interview with Will just to show him this. If he's willing to fund something, this is a 3-mile water level test. Look at this.
And I'm envisioning this as the starting point. We have road access right here where we can offload supplies. We can offload hose. We can offload the posts. We can do that at multiple locations down this 3-mile stretch. So as we drill down here, what we're going to need to do is plant our first post in the sand. We'll use a post hole digger, we'll dig a hole, we'll plant the post in the ground, we'll use wet sand to pack it back in, we'll use levels to make sure that this post is perfectly perpendicular. Now you can see here, I've got a surveyor here. we are going to need to have a surveyor not using GPS equipment, but optical equipment with high tolerances, auto-leveling theodolites or transits. And what they're going to need to do is they're going to need to set reference points down this beach in whatever distances that they can work within high level tolerances. All right, so they'll set a reference point here near where our first post is. They're going to shoot an elevation off of that, and then they can swing around, or maybe they'll have to add additional pins along the way. But what they're going to be doing is always shooting off this reference point here. And so they don't need to know sea level, they don't need to know anything other than the elevation of this starting pin. Now what we're going to be doing with the hose is we're going to be stringing it out, we're going to lay it down near the water's edge, and I have it marked out in yellow here just so that it shows up. But then you can see where it transfers to blue here, and above that you can see how it's clear. So what we'll have is on the ends of whatever hose we use, we'll have clear tubing. And that clear tubing will probably be 8-10 feet of clear tubing. And so what we'll do is we'll pull up the hose along our post here, and we're going to set a mark on this post. First one. We're going to do a half mile at a time. So then we'll come down here. Same thing. We have the clear tubing. We're going to pull it up, and wherever the water is showing, you know, a level mark, wherever the water comes up in the tube, we're going to set our mark here and on our first post. And what we'll be doing is having the surveyor with his shots here off these pins, we're going to check and see whether or not when the water level makes a mark on the first post and the second post, whether or not the surveyor says that that is in fact level. Okay, so we'll do it half mile. Now the reason why I have this wall here is because I want you to visualize us building an actual seawall, like a concrete seawall, where these marks that we're setting right here, what we want is a perfectly level seawall. It has no curvature to it. We know that we have the capability in this world right now to make something perfectly level. Level, level, level. The surveyor is going to verify that our half mile section here is truly level. And then once we've done that, we're going to go to our next post, and then our next post, and then our next post. Surveyor always moving along with us, checking to see that when we get our marks on each post, that it's level the entire way, no curvature. So eventually what we'll have, come back out here, is we will have 3 miles of this done. Surveyor having verified the entire way that each half mile section is truly level. So there will not be any question as to whether or not there is some magical force that is making the water and the level respond the same way, you know, the curved oceans in the globe earth theory are responding. We want to build a wall. All right. A perfectly level wall for 3 miles.
And there you have it. Okay. We don't need to build the wall. All we need to do is set the posts, and the water level has to be run. Just clear hose for 3 miles. This is the ultimate end-all be-all test to prove the shape of the ground. Mike, Nachiketa, I hope you're watching. Okay, so when you're asked again how to measure curvature, here, this is how you measure curvature. Now, they've tried to do something like this, right? It was the concave earther, Lord Stephen Christ. See, and this is why new Johnny come-alongs latelys don't know what's going on. They haven't done the research. And he started to actually build this, what was it called? Oh, I can't believe I forget the name of it. But where they were actually building different sections, basically, of this wall. right? And it was actually coming back flat. They stopped because he was trying to prove that the earth curved up, right? So this is it. This is, if Will Duffy wants to get behind something, of course they're going to ignore it. They're going to say, those guys think that the earth is a virtual reality. It doesn't matter. Their virtual reality world could easily do that. No one's going to get behind this. But Jason, this was the best way that you came up with for us to actually verify the shape of the ground.
Yeah, it's the water level. I mean, there's so many different ways you could do it. You could set up seamless gutter. Right, just run out 3 miles of seamless gutter.
Fill it.
Level up the gutter the entire way. Fill it with water and see if it's.
One end is 4 inches and one end is 2 inches.
Right. Simple.
It's going to be
perfectly level all the way down. Listen, Jason and I are actually builders. That's what we've dedicated our lives to. We build things. We could build this wall, and I can guarantee you that it would be level, plumb, flat, perpendicular all the way. Right. And this would, without a shadow of a doubt, this would end the debate as if the earth below our feet is curved, because we would have a curved wall built. Right.
Yeah,
we would have
but
different marks.
Guys like Jaron will come in and say, yeah, you could make it so that it's level everywhere. But if you put enough of them together, then it would become a ball, like a Home Depot. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they would say. So, I think we'll let's go to a song break. When we come back, Jason, I'll get into some of these links I have here from the recent SpaceX launch. Take it away.
All right. We are back.
Going beyond the vanishing point with you.
Is that what it was saying?
Kind of. But let me know when my screen share is presented again, Jason. We'll round off this great Flat Earth Friday podcast. I mean, I just love sharing the truth. I love the 3 mile water level test. I really hope we get to do it, brother. I really do. The last time we were getting ready to do it, we even had crowdfunding. We were actually almost there. We almost had enough money. It was only like $6,000. We almost did it. And then it was Fat Earth Reset who threatened to call the police on us. Right?
Yeah. Supposedly a flat earther decided that he was going to call the cops on us if we tried to do the experiment.
Someone was going to trip over the tube.
Yep.
Let's get into this recent rocket launch. Here it is 2 years ago. Elon Musk, Trump, going over his nutty idea to catch. And I want everyone to understand here, the topic here, catching the largest, heaviest flying object ever made. Okay, check this out. How ridiculous this is. Anybody tuning in here right now? This is you're watching a Hollywood presentation here. Modern day Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty crazy. I mean, there's a custom built tower with arms that are designed to catch the largest and heaviest flying object ever made.
Look at the size of those arms.
But it's
going to catch the heaviest thing.
Gigantic, booster coming back.
This thing. Look at this. Look at this thing.
And I mean, that's 9 meters in diameter, not counting the chines, or roughly 30 feet in diameter. And it'll weigh about 250 tons. Oh, we'll make that lighter over time. I think we'll be able to get the mass well under 200 tons over time.
200 tons. Is anyone listening to what this clown is saying? Do you people understand tuning in here how hard it is? Did you know that airplanes are filled with compressed air inside so they become like a blimp so that they can fly?
What, 250 tons is what it is now. He wants to get it down to 200 tons, and that's what those chopsticks is supposed to be grabbing. 250 tons.
Do people understand how absolutely impossible to have something fly that weighs 200 tons is?
It's still pretty heavy, so you got
Pretty
pull
heavy,
it a
yeah.
couple hundred tons, plummeting at
Does the hand sign.
Let's see.
He's not that smart. He's supposedly this smart. Here,
the velocity at which we start up the engines is more than half the speed of sound.
So
this thing is still coming in really fast. So it's got to slow itself down very fast.
Terminal velocity doesn't apply to this thing? I guess it escapes.
No, and apparently either did to Felix Baumgartner when he supposedly broke the speed of sound.
So whatever the XY error is, when the engines land, it's got to take out the XY error, and then drop the velocity to basically zero. Come in between the arms. The arms will be wide, and as it's coming in, the arms will close, go flush against the side of the vehicle.
I mean, here it goes.
The vehicle will be descending through the arms. I mean, that's the theory anyway.
That's the theory. So that was 2 years ago, I guess, when he said that. So it was just last week that he actually did this. Okay,
But it's got some Labrador in it.
There's some
What's Labrador? It's dog shit. What? Yeah, my dog ate my stash, man.
Smoking it. So
I had it on the
I want people to see there's this tiny little feet that comes off of this.
Motherfucker ate it,
catching it on.
Yeah?
This is Cheech and
So I had to
Chong, if
follow him
anyone
around
saw
the
it.
little baggie for 3 days before I got it back. Really blew the dog's mind.
I mean, come on. Does people really think that this is real? Look at the way this fire goes up. The whole optics of this whole rocket, the way that it supposedly takes off, the way that it flies, we could spend hours. So it's these are the little feet, AJ. You see these little feet here?
Yeah.
This is what supposedly lands on the chopsticks. These are
that carries 250 tons, huh?
Yes. Just these little feet here, whatever that is, it lands perfectly on there, and comes to rest here. That's what we're to believe here. Oh, it's so funny what people will believe. I mean, come on. I don't know who saw this. If anyone was watching here. These people here are filming it.
Doesn't have the rocket on his phone and doesn't have the smoke on his phone.
There's no rocket.
Very strange.
That was video.
Look.
He doesn't got it in the shot, right?
Oops.
Or the smoke.
No rocket, no smoke.
No fire here. You don't see the flame.
It's the same in a minute. When this booster comes back, you don't see the booster on people's phones.
So let's talk about that too. So the rocket takes off. It goes downrange. Flies up into the air, and people talk about all the time how it makes a parabolic curve, right? But then how does the rocket fall backwards to the landing, to the takeoff zone without having a propulsion system on the other end of it? See?
It falls backwards.
So it goes downrange, and then it falls back.
Falls back.
Till this point here, and nobody's got it on their phones.
Pay particular attention to the phones and the booster.
You get all the people freaking out and cheering. And so they do the fire, and they do the pops, and they do the smoke so that they add that into all the different angles, the CGI, to verify that it's real. They try to do. And the sound effects.
Here we are now. You can see again.
Doesn't have it
on that phone. You're not seeing the rocket. You're not even seeing that tower is landing on. Not seeing any of that.
So, I mean, that's just, and there's more, but we could go on and on and on. So here it is. I've been asking, how is it? So listen, okay, if someone could show me, so this thing weighs 200 tons, right? There's no bouncing wings. There's no weights that are on it. They've got these honeycomb feet, right? That protrude. They're like nowhere near the amount of stabilization. If someone could do a small scale, why is it that there's no small scale tests? Now there is some tests that NASA did that's CGI that we're not going to get into tonight, maybe in the next podcast. So this is their evidence. These engines, the way these tilt. So, okay, this would do cartwheels in the air, cartwheels over cartwheels. If you have thrust coming out the bottom of a tube, right, and you don't have any bounce stabilizers, I don't care what angle, if you turn these a little bit, this rocket will go
flip right over and start spinning.
I shot rockets off. I did that as a kid. I built them and shot them. Okay, and they spin when they don't have the correct thrust and velocity. You cannot slowly levitate an upright tube. You can't turn a cigarette lighter upside down and make it float. Okay. If somebody could show me a small scale, just show me a 2-foot rocket that you can just take off like a drone and then slowly bring back down to the ground. No, they do it with 250 tons, Ron. I'm asking you to do it with 1 pound, a 1 pound rocket.
There's a lot of fireworks out there that show you what happened. You light it and all of a sudden, boom, it starts spinning like crazy, right?
Yeah, they do it all the time. But there's never been one that can levitate and steer and then be caught between chopsticks just because of this. Just show me a small scale version of this. Don't you think there'd be the small scale conception first before the government would give this guy millions and billions of dollars? And listen, they went to the moon over 50 years ago. Do people not see that this is a distraction? The cheering, the people, the crying, the fainting, like Elon Musk is our hero, all this stuff. He's not even American. He's from South Africa, from a ruby mining family. He stole all of his businesses, right? He conned his way into Tesla, conned his way into PayPal, conned his way into SpaceX, FakeX, right? Now he bought Twitter, supposedly, and he's supposedly keeping that about free speech. And that I've been on there for 10 years. You think I've gotten any traction? Zero, zilch, been censored. Jason censored, Right? How is it that people believe that this is even possible without a small scale experiment or test?
You should be able to build the scaled model first, and then based off of that, build the larger model.
Hover this. Show Jason just a 2-foot rocket, a 1-foot rocket. Just hover it. Hover it straight up like this, and then bring it back down and catch it. Don't show me a 250-ton light show CGI nonsense. They're doing a combination. Yeah, here's those feet, Jason. Just wanted to point out. This is what supposedly is holding it all up. Look at
that's a strong bracket. Yeah.
Look at the engineering. I don't even see a big plate. I don't see anything that's
250 tons, right?
How stupid do you have to be to believe this? And see, the thing is that the people that are watching, the people that believe this, the NASA fanboys and SpaceX fanboys, have never built anything. They don't understand how this works. They don't understand the engineering that it takes to actually build something that has weight to it. But that's where we are in the modern day world. Jason, that was the presentation for Flat Earth Friday. I know you've been working really, really hard. I am really excited. So you're going to have 3-part series coming out. The first part is cartography for dummies. No, what is it?
It is called Coordinate Systems and Projections Explained for Dummies, featuring FE blind navigation debunked.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be great. So everybody, you're not going to want to miss this. I hope it's done before next Friday. Maybe we'll do a Flat Earth Wednesday, and we'll show the video live, and then do a 2-hour live stream breaking it down point by point, longitude by longitude, latitude by latitude, and showing people just how stupid you have to be to think that you can only blindly navigate on an AE pressurized pizza dome single pole map. I mean, I can't wait, Jason. So hopefully that's done for, maybe Sunday or Monday. Sunday, we're going to read scriptures. We were supposed to read scriptures this week, but we've been working so hard. I planned this. I put the work in for this. I'm also going to be live on Sunday on the Rise and Grind. You can get the links to my Rumble channel for the morning show with the memes and the music and the spirituality and the news. We're going to cover the news, what's going on in Trump world and Canada world. But I'm really excited for your new video that's going to be out. I don't know when that's going to be, but we'll definitely have a specific night just for that. Right. And then there's also going to be part 2 and part 3, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It spawned a couple other videos. Just when you're going through the process and you see when you see it all laid out together, I wish I could have, taken on a few more topics in this video, but it's long enough already. So it'll be in upcoming videos. But I just wanted to throw in one thing here, that 250,000, how many tons is it? 250
tons.
250 tons.
Mm-hmm. Super heavy rocket, they call it.
Yeah, that is super heavy. That is. All right. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's it for tonight then.
You just wanted to throw in the weight again. How heavy?
Well, I wanted to double check it against something. I was going to compare it to cruise ships, but
how many tons do they weigh? They got to be more than that.
Yeah, 250,000 tons.
250,000 tons, yeah. But still, 250 tons is a lot of weight. Like, if you could type in the search bar on your end, just behind the scenes, you don't have to screen share, but on how much does a 747 weigh? Just as a comparison, Because those have to be filled with air so that they become like a blimp, so that they're able to take off.
The 747 has a maximum takeoff weight of 735,000 pounds, empty weight of 394,000 pounds. So you divide that in 2 for your tonnage, so about 200 tons.
Really?
740, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Okay, but could you see a plane vertically hover? We've never seen that ever. No.
Yeah,
the answer is no.
Not just go up. No.
They can't hover and then float back down to the earth. But yeah, anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been a super fun Flat Earth Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as me.
All right, where's the only place people are going to get this content, brother?
For now, only on Yahawashai News Networks.